Okay, folks, working on the final project for your class, and it's basically a set of things that we're going to run through here, and you're going to complete before Wednesday at noon on May 10. So this is going to be due by noon on May 10. Shouldn't take you very long. I'm going to take you through this step by step, and if you don't have access to a Windows computer, this could be a little difficult, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get logged into our Reclaim hosting. And Reclaim hosting is that place where we bought a website for each one of you. So if you go to the client area, log in, and I'm already logged in, so it automatically took me there, but it'll prompt you for your username and password. I can see that I've got a few things going on here. Actually, I just had to pay for mine today, so it expired. So I've got one active domain, and where we're going to be doing most of our work here is in cPanel. So cPanel is basically where almost everything's going to happen here. This is where you're going to get all your stuff. Okay. Primarily, most of your work is going to be happening within the file manager, but for this purposes of this project, it's going to be a little bit different. So what I want you to do first, we'll go back to the steps, is I want you to just become more familiar with the cPanel. And you can see that there's applications, there's domains, there's files. If you don't know what these things are, you could go to the support here, and if you go here, no, that's not it. So I guess it would be under support. You can actually do some, no, knowledge base, that's where it is. Sorry about that. So the knowledge base will actually allow you to go through all the specific tutorials, things like that, if you want more information. I wouldn't recommend doing that immediately, just because I think that it can become overwhelming and you don't know what to pay attention to. So don't do that right now. Just kind of step through this with me. So that's the cPanel. And in the cPanel, there's a couple of things that we're going to be using today. So one is going to be the file manager right here. One is going to be the backup that you already should have used. One of them is going to be the PHP MyAdmin, and we may end up using one of these MySQL database tools here. And there's lots of other things that are here. It doesn't mean just because they're there that you need to be using them, but you can do your searching through the knowledge base and begin to figure out what stuff actually does. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to install WordPress. So WordPress is one of those tools that is probably behind most of the internet web pages that are out there. So if you look through various different websites, occasionally you may see reference to WordPress, especially at the very bottom of the websites. So if I go in, and I don't think I have anything here. Let me see if I can find lvhs.org. Nope. Time Magazine, I think at one point was using WordPress for a lot of their stuff. So you can pull that up, just go to the bottom. It's a little bit slow, but you can go to the bottom. You can look for stuff like that, and you can see at the very bottom, powered by WordPress. So large websites are using WordPress. I'm going to go into the applications, and if it doesn't show up for you here, you can go into all applications, and in the all applications you see tons of stuff. So WordPress is a content management tool, and you can see there's a lot of what are technically called CMS. So people will refer to these as CMS. WordPress is at the top, then Drupal, Joomla, blah, blah, blah. And I'd say that I know a place that's using Mambo down here at the bottom. I know places using WordPress. I know places using Drupal and Joomla. And I don't really know of anybody else using any of these other things here. Doesn't mean they're no good. It just means I'm not aware of anybody using that. So what I want you to do is I want you to click on the WordPress, And it brings you to this thing called the installatron. Sounds really complicated, but basically this is part of almost all cPanel installations where it has access to all the applications that you do. And in this is where you're going to install the application. So you can see I can import an existing installation, which I don't want to do because I want to cook this one from scratch. I want to install this right now. There's a couple of other things here. Only display applications that do not require a database. Only display applications available in my language. Okay, I don't really want to pay attention to those. I want to look here at this install the application. I want to look at the version stuff, and it tells me some things down here. So in most most hosting services, they're going to charge you by the application. And you can see there's no cost here next to this, but it does tell you the basic install size is 21 megs, and it's going to create a MySQL database, and that it's open source. Here's some other things that you can get to if you want to know more information about WordPress. There's lots of different versions of WordPress. Okay, we're going to install. It brings you up to maybe a window that's going to say what the domain is going to be. So the domain is going to be http://mattyher.com, and I've got some other subdomains here. You probably do not have those. So you probably are only going to have one choice here. So the domain and directory selected above represent a URL, blah, 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 physical path on the server's hard drive, both of which are shown here. So what it's saying is that this is where the files for this particular installation are going to be. So this is just like the folders on your computer. There's going to be a folder called Home. There's going to be a folder called Matty Her. There's going to be a folder called Public HTML, and then there's going to be a folder called Blog. And then all of the other ancillary files for this are going to be inside that blog file. So remember the version of WordPress. So you can see here it gives you quite a few different versions. Each one of these versions is going to have different attributes. If you don't have any requirements, go with the latest greatest. I accept the license agreement, update to any new version, so I'm not going to hold it at this point. If you get really sophisticated, you might not want to automatically update it, but we don't really care at this point. Plugins will get updated, themes will get updated, and we're going to create a backup and automatically restore the backup if the update fails. So settings. These settings allow you to customize and personalize the application. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So that's the administrator username that they're giving to me, which seems a little bit crazy. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to call this Matty Her WP. And I'm going to give it a different password, and I'm not going to tell you what that is. Okay. The name of my website is going to be, what do you think, Rob?
Hank.com.
What is it?
Hank.com.
Hankis.com. Okay, Hankis.com is going to be the name of my website. And the tagline, just under the WordPress site, is, we'll call this Silly Little WordPress Games. Okay. Limited login attempts. Yes, limit failed login attempts for increased security. You just need to go through these and then you'll see how this works. I'm not going to limit the failed login attempts because I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to remember my password. And I hate it when things get locked out. So the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a little image of this, just so I remember what I'm doing here. I'll just do that. Just for fun for now. Okay, so I've basically answered all those questions. Automatically manage the advanced things, sure, do that. Install it. So we haven't really taken much time here to get WordPress going here. Hankis.com is installing. And so you can see it's copying database and tables, things like that. the purpose of this is to kind of demonstrate how a lot of things happen behind the scenes that you're not aware of. Quite a few of you were screeching about how Access was kind of horrible, but Access is a database framework that allows you to be able to do pretty cool things like WordPress. So WordPress doesn't use Access for a variety of reasons, but now I have my hankis.com. So I've got three things: mattyherr.com/blog, mattyherr.com/blog, wp-admin, and then I got wordpress.org support. The thing that I want to take you to two of these. So if I press the control key and I click on just the blog one, and then if I press the control key and click on the wordpress.admin, two different things happen. So this is the hankis.com basic website. And you can see the silly little WordPress games is beneath the hankis.com. And it gives me an image, and it gives me a hello world by default. Okay, let's go over to the other one. So this is the management interface for WordPress. So just by clicking that little button and answering those couple of questions, I get access to this pretty cool interface. And it's logged me in automatically as admin, and my name is Matty Herr WP. Okay, that's just what I gave myself. On the left-hand side, you can see there's a whole bunch of things that are over here, and posts are the things that make up WordPress blogs. Pages also make up WordPress blogs. So between those two things, those are the primary pieces that allow you to see something like this. Okay, so I've only got one post, and I don't really have any pages. So if I go to all posts, and I'll be able to see that page. And if I choose to click on that, here is the post. And if I change this and I put an image, okay, so I'm going to put an image here. Is that it? Okay. Is this text? No. I'm going to add media. Okay, I'm going to select files. I'm going to click my pictures. I'm going to come in here and just find something probably terrible. We'll come back down to the bottom here. There we go. Ultraman, my fave. All right, so I've uploaded that. Okay, and I'm going to insert this into the post down here at the bottom right. And here's my Ultraman. And if I choose to update it on the right-hand side, and I come back to this, and I refresh, I've altered that post. So generally, people don't alter blog postings. They generally make a new posting. But in this case, I just wanted to show you how to make an edit. If I come back to Add New, my cool second post. And if I come down here and I choose to add media, I'll get a different picture this time. So I'm going to upload files, select files. We'll come back down here and we'll get something equally bad. Ooh, there's a great one. And if we insert this into the post and we choose publish, and that's published, and we come back to this, we only have Ultraman, and we refresh it, and we scroll down, and now you can see that Ultraman took second place, and everything is awesome. My second post became first. So everything happens in chronological order. So the oldest goes to the bottom, the newest goes to the top. All right, so that's about it, really. So this is the interface and the URL that you would give to people if you wanted to tell your mom about how cool this thing is. And then if you wanted to go altering it, you would go to this other URL. And you can see that the base of the URL is the same all the way to the wp-admin, and that's what takes you to all the tools that are over here. The last thing that I wanted to show you is if we go to Appearance and we go to Themes, these are the themes that are available. So I can choose any one of these. So this is the current theme right now. But if I come over here to the next one and say, I want 2015, and I choose to activate that, now it's the active theme. And if I come back to my website and I refresh it, not nearly as cool. But it's got the same information on it, okay? So we can reactivate this one, or we could go to the 2016. But what I really wanted to show you is that you can add a new theme. And in these other themes, you can choose one of these other ones. And sometimes themes cost money and sometimes they don't. So if we go to Popular, if we go to Latest, but this is how you can customize, and it gives you a little number there about how many of them that there are. So let's just choose one of this one, Eldest PageMaker. Let's install this one and see what happens. Okay, so when I choose install, you can see it says installing. And it says it's only for creative people, so if you're not creative, probably don't want to be doing this one. Okay, so we've got our themes. And, okay, so these are the installed themes. So now I have 4 installed themes. There's tons more out there, but if I choose to activate the creative theme, and then I come back to hankes.com, and this is what that's looking like. Again, not nearly as cool as the first one. Okay. All right. So that's about it for the basics of getting WordPress up and running. Again, if you want to tell your mom where to go to look at this, there's the URL, and that's what I would do. If I wanted to shorten this and have it say just maddieher.com, we haven't done that yet. So right now, that URL is maddieher.com/blog. Okay. More to come.